A nighttime patrol by Bosnia's border police, the fast-flowing waters of the river Drina, the last barrier for the refugees. The majority crossing it now are Iranians. The opposite banks in Serbia are swept with infrared heat detectors and night-scanning binoculars.
We use battery lamps, rotating lights and vehicle headlamps to try and dissuade the migrants from crossing the border.
But they are up against highly experienced gangs of human traffickers making a fortune out of the refugees. At this time of year, the temperatures are dropping below zero and the waters are rising. So the refugees are strapping together plastic bottles, roping them together and using them as a raft. In summer months, they can simply wade across, but now some of them are drowning, their bodies swept onto the Bosnian banks of the river, which offered them such an illusory freedom. At a refugee camp outside Sarajevo, we met Iranians who survived the perilous journey, joining the Pakistanis and Afghans who thought Bosnia was just one step away from the freedom of Western Europe. This Iranian Kurd didn't want to give us his name. He says his brother was shot dead by special forces in Iran fighting a growing protest movement. He told us he wants a new life for his wife and children. Bosnia tries to give the refugees a humane welcome, but it's a country without the resources to cope with this new burden.
In the last 6 months, 90% of migrants came to us from Serbia across the Drina River with no documents. We were worried about the large numbers of Iranians coming because Serbia introduced a visa-free regime with 5 flights weekly from Iran, so we had a huge influx. Some 4,000 Iranians entered.
Back at the headquarters of the Bosnian border police, another influx of refugees, but this time trying to get back into Serbia. This Iraqi family managed to walk into Slovenia, but were handed back to Croat police who beat them up and forced them back into Bosnia. Smugglers have taken all their money.
We crossed the water.
On a boat?
Yeah, by boat.
And you have to pay?
Yeah, we pay. You cannot go to any place, you have to pay.
Inside the police station, I talked to a group of Iranians too afraid to appear on camera. Accountants, electrical engineers, fruit sellers. They said the economy in Iran was in a desperate state and freedom was being stifled. Among the crowded corridors, I also met 3 Rohingya Muslims from Myanmar. Their families had all been killed. It took them 14 months to reach the borders of the European Union. They too were beaten back with truncheons. David Chater, Al Jazeera, Zvornik, near Bosnia's border with Serbia.